What's up, fight fans? This is Danny Howard from FightHype.com, and this is the Pillar to Post Boxing Podcast. Now, this week we have a special edition. It's all Pacquiao Bradley this week, so strap in. We got a lot of stuff to go over. Well, ready or not, June 9th is right around the corner, and Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley are ready to face off for Manny Pacquiao's WBO welterweight title in Las Vegas. Now, before I get into how I believe the fight's going to go and ultimately who I pick to win, what's interesting to note going into this fight is Timothy Bradley, actually. Bradley is 28-0 and is a multiple reigning junior welterweight champion, moving up in weight to face Pacquiao. And Bradley represents something that Manny Pacquiao has really never seen in his career before. He's young, undefeated, has a lot less mileage than Pacquiao does at this point. And why that's significant is that Manny Pacquiao has kind of always been, in his fights, the younger, faster, stronger fighter going up against the older, shop-worn, battle-tested veterans. And that's really how Pacquiao has compiled this incredible resume. Guys like Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera, even Juan Manuel Marquez has been worn down before his fights with Pacquiao. And you can especially point that out in the cases of guys like Shane Mosley, Antonio Margarito, Ricky Hatton, De La Hoya. Manny Pacquiao has always been the guy that's had youth on his side. And for the first time in his career, and only the second time he's fighting an undefeated opponent, Manny is actually fighting a guy who is the young lion. Manny Pacquiao, not to say that he's old, but the shoe is on the other foot when it comes to this fight. Now, how that affects the fight will be interesting. I mean, Manny Pacquiao has had over 60 fights in his career. The fight with Marquez last year suggested that Pacquiao perhaps may not have very much left in the tank. And whatever he does have left in the tank, even if he's running on empty, still a lot more than what most fighters have in the game now. But these the statistical drop-offs that Pacquiao has going into this fight is something that can't be ignored. So I just find that the advantage in youth not being in Pacquiao's corner already makes this a very interesting fight. And how this plays out on the night of the fight, well, we won't have much time to speculate about it, but I think that age as well as Bradley's low mileage may play something, a big part actually, in how the fight may turn out. Manny Pacquiao has everything he needs to make this an easy night for himself. He has speed, power, awkwardness, and that southpaw stance that has riddled the boxing world with several destroyed fighters in its wake. The problem is, though, is that Manny Pacquiao is not the whirling dervish that he has been in the years past, and that may be the reason why this fight will be very, very competitive. Now, in 2010, against Joshua Clottey and Antonio Margarito, the last couple fights that we saw the true destructive force of Manny Pacquiao, Pacquiao averaged 1,152 punches in both of those fights. Now, in 2011, against Shane Mosley and Juan Manuel Marquez, Pacquiao threw an average of only 652 punches in those two fights, a huge statistical drop-off from the previous year. Furthermore, Pacquiao showed a type of, I guess he was lost in those fights. Shane Mosley provided little to no resistance from Pacquiao besides lateral movement and a lazy jab. And Pacquiao just couldn't jump on the old man. He couldn't just force Mosley to fight him. And I don't know whether that was because Pacquiao was weary of Shane's right hand, or the fact that Pacquiao just didn't know what to do. In the case of Juan Manuel Marquez, a fight that I personally thought Pacquiao was going to win easily, Marquez also employed lateral movement, but this time was timing Pacquiao, and he was countering him. And though Pacquiao won the fight, Very, very few people actually think that Pacquiao won, myself included. Now, the activity drop-off is not going to help him against a younger opponent that is going to, no doubt, try to emulate the game plan laid out by Sugar Shane Mosley and Juan Manuel Marquez. Timothy Bradley may not be a very strong fighter, but he is a smart fighter. He knows how to use his punches the right way. And while he isn't stopping people left and right like Pacquiao used to, you're not going to beat Manny Pacquiao by walking in there and trying to knock his head off. You got to beat him by boxing. While Bradley does throw a lot of looping shots and he is wild at times, Bradley's best punch has always been his counter right hand, which he throws straight, accurate, and often. That punch worked wonders against guys like Kendall Holt, Lamont Peterson, and Devin Alexander, fighters who, to this day, are still relevant in their respective divisions. Now, Pacquiao is going to catch Timmy Bradley with something big, whether it be early, within the first 3 or 4 rounds, my best guess. Now, how Bradley reacts to that is going to really determine how this fight goes. If Bradley does get dropped, and he recovers well, and he's able to take the shots multiple times and keep coming, then I think Manny Pacquiao might be in trouble. But if Bradley reacts negatively to the shot, he might just clam up and just use his bike to make it to the end of the round or end of the fight, like Shane Mosley did. And both are very likely scenarios. Now, though Manny Pacquiao is perceived as the stronger puncher in the ring, it's really been since the Hatton fight where Pacquiao really just knocked the hell out of somebody. I mean, the Kondo fight was stopped due to just the accumulation of shots, and I don't think that Juan Manuel Marquez was that badly hurt in his third fight with Pacquiao. And this is a guy who in 2 previous fights with Pacquiao tasted the canvas 4 times and took multiple shots time and time again, which is more evidence to me that signifies Pacquiao's decline. Could Timothy Bradley take advantage of the fact that Pacquiao may not be performing as well as he used to? Possibly so. Bradley will have to fight a perfect game this weekend. He has to use the right amount of speed. He can't engage Pacquiao just because, and he has to frustrate Manny into thinking that Manny is not in control. As I mentioned earlier, setting the pace is very, very important for Timothy Bradley. Shane Mosley was able to fight the fight at his pace, making Manny Pacquiao just follow him around the ring in a hypnotic daze. Juan Manuel Marquez was walking Pacquiao down throughout the course of the fight, and when Pacquiao was walking forward, he was ineffective, he was wild, and he was getting hit. So I do think that the key for Manny Pacquiao to win this fight is to crank up the activity and follow up on big landed punches. And for Timothy Bradley, Bradley's key is to box intelligently and avoid firefights. Also, to dig deep to the body and make it a rough fight. When the fight was originally conceived, I always maintained the belief that I thought Timothy Bradley had enough talent and boxing skill to beat the slumping and aging Manny Pacquiao, but I don't believe that Bradley was able to get the decision in Las Vegas. However, recent events have caused me to change my pick. I do believe that Timothy Bradley will win the fight. I'm actually confident in saying that he will, that I'm actually officially picking Timothy Bradley to win this fight. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics on a prediction piece, but I could pretty much tell you that I believe that Bradley's ability to make or break this pay-per-view, the fact that he's becoming an established name, and perhaps a mixture of the fact that Juan Manuel Marquez is going to try to play hardball with Top Rank, preventing a 4th Pacquiao-Marquez clash, makes a Bradley-Pacquiao 2 fight that much more interesting. The only way it can be interesting, though, is if Timothy Bradley wins. I believe that Timothy Bradley will win this fight by a very, very close majority decision. His boxing ability, his youth, and his ability to take Manny Pacquiao shots will pay dividends in the early rounds, and Pacquiao will try to charge his way through the last half of the fight, but will find himself fighting Bradley's game and ultimately dropping a very, very close and possibly controversial majority decision. Ironically, this is where it all started for Manny Pacquiao, being a huge underdog facing off against Marco Antonio Barrera way back at 126 pounds. And now, I mean, I believe that that Pacquiao will find himself in the same shoes as Barrera and Morales did when they fought him. And I think that it'll be a great night of boxing. Should be a fun fight, and hopefully the finish is clean and not dirty. But I am going to stick with Timothy Bradley winning this fight by a close and possibly controversial majority decision. Alright guys, that about does it for me this week. So please be sure to like and subscribe below and leave any comments should you feel you need to. You can always get in touch with me directly at dhoward@fighthype.com. You can add me as a friend on Facebook, and you can check me out every Wednesday on Fight Hype Radio alongside Vivek Wallace, the Boss Man Ben Thompson, and the Boxing Belle Stephanie Bell. And always be sure to dial it into FightHype.com, your #1 source for boxing and MMA news. So until then, enjoy the fights and have a good one.